Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, JUSDYS, one half of the dynamic team,
Team.
Batman and Superman.
And I'm your boy Said, aka Mr. Let's Talk.
Screaming out, let's talk.
What we talking about today? What are we talking about today?
What are we talking about today?
What are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about
Mm.
silence or setup. Y'all seen the
Thumbnail?
the thumbnail. If you haven't seen the thumbnail tells it all. But we're gonna get deep with this tonight. We're not trying to piss you off, but we might piss you off. So, we take it with a bowl of salt, however that saying goes.
Grain of salt.
Grain of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with that being said, I'm not your boy Said, but this is Thoughts from Your Boy podcast.
That's right. So, y'all know, like we always do, we take a couple minutes, let y'all get in the room, you know what I'm saying? Let y'all get settled in, and we send out invites. So, that's what we're going to do right now. We are on a little bit early.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
2-3 minutes, maybe 4 at the tops.
But we will be attempting to go on right at 7 o'clock and get the conversation started.
We will definitely be trying to go on at 7 o'clock so that we can
get the conversation started.
That's
right. All right, y'all.
When y'all come in the building, please hit that like button.
Smash it.
Unfortunately, the way YouTube works, when you enter the building, we can't see your name unless you leave a comment. So we don't know if you're in here watching live or through the app when we send it to y'all.
Right.
But if you want to make it count because you care about what we do,
right,
just leave a little comment. Let us know that you're in the room. Say hi or something. Or join the conversation.
That's right. So, yeah, we look forward to seeing y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a great conversation. So we hope that y'all enjoy it. Like he said, some of y'all might get a little pissed off, maybe. But some of y'all would definitely indulge in this one. You know, it's a pretty good conversation. So, yeah, y'all. We looking forward for this one. Stick around, too, y'all. You know, I know some of y'all like to come in the building for a few minutes, but we need y'all to stick around a little more, if y'all don't mind.
Just a little bit.
You know, I know some of y'all going to see this on the playback, so even on the playback, make sure you watch at least 10 minutes of it, if you don't mind. At least 10 minutes. You know,
10 minutes, 25, something.
Yeah, it helps. It helps in the algorithm.
Watch the whole show.
Now, we would prefer that.
I forgot to mention, Big Unk is in the building.
Big Unk.
3 times.
3 times. You know what I'm saying? Right there.
Yeah, we forgot Big Unk in the intro today.
Right.
Sorry, Unk.
We apologize.
Don't put the weight on us on Wednesday.
That's right.
Yeah. And that is how that story goes, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir. But, y'all, all I'm going to say is, I ain't going to say it yet.
You ain't going to say it?
I ain't going to say it.
Please don't say it.
I just go tell them get certain reading material ready.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Tell them.
Get your reading material ready.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Get your Bibles ready. Uh-oh.
Not the Bibles.
Uh-oh. I'm just saying, you know.
I can go left.
Yeah, it probably will, but that's fine. That's fine. This is a good conversation to have, y'all. Very entertaining, you know, very controversial. So we definitely ask y'all to share this with as many people as you can. Share it.
Yeah.
Let it be known.
You
know, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Let it be the end all be all
of all conversations.
Absolutely. You heard it here first.
Are we the first ones to talk about this?
I believe we are going to be the first ones to talk about it from this aspect.
I would think someone else has covered this. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one.
Right.
The whole standpoint is something different. So, you know, it might do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, it's going to do what it's going to do. We know that.
I'm sending this one to a lot of people.
Yeah, send this to everybody. Everybody need to jump in on this conversation and get their opinion out there. We want your opinion. We want you. You know, it's like the Army used to say.
Really? Not like the Army used to say.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. That'd be point. We want you. I don't remember that.
I don't remember those ads, those commercials. Uncle Sam's misguided children.
That's it.
Anybody? Uncle Sam missed Scotty children. Well, I mean, some of us were.
Right. That's right. Now, was Uncle Sam only the Army? Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, white beard.
So
the commercial would go like this. We want you to do this.
Okay.
yeah. So what was G.I. Joe?
He was Army.
That's Army too.
Well, G.I. Joe was all of them.
That's what I was asking.
Because the ninja,
One of
Snake
them was a
Eyes,
Marine.
Snake Eyes was a Navy man.
Okay.
And then
The G.I. Joe was all of them.
right, I'm saying, but Snake Eyes was the Navy.
Mhm.
Shipwreck was the Navy.
Mhm.
Sergeant Slaughter, because they had a Sergeant Slaughter. He was the Marine. I think Duke was a Marine.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
in the movie, he was a Marine.
yeah, and G.I. Joe, the actual Joe guy, was the Army guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the girl? Was she the Army?
She was the Army.
She was the Army.
Yeah.
They might have been Air Force.
Now, I can remember in the movie where
I know the movie you're talking about.
with Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis.
Okay,
remember
yeah,
The
yeah,
Rock
yeah.
was like, he's the reason why we call ourselves Joe.
Gotcha.
Right.
With
You
The
know what I'm
Rock.
saying?
Yeah.
So great movie too, by the way. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. You know what I'm saying? You'll definitely like it. See, we got some comments. We're gonna get to y'all comments, y'all. Definitely. Hope y'all prepared for this conversation. We want to send this out to as many people as possible, y'all. So that's all we're doing right now. We're just taking a second to send this conversation out so people can get it. It's important. You know, we want this one, y'all. We need y'all to.
Yeah, we want this one to go where it
They
goes.
got that hype it up button now on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You can hype the video up.
I have not seen that button yet.
Uh,
Is it in the place of where the like button was at?
I think so.
Okay.
I think because I was like, "What is this?" Then I found out what it was. And
Good
yeah.
to go. Good to go.
So
All right, let's see. I did that.
Mhm.
I mean, what the comments at? We had comments?
Yeah, we have some comments.
Okay, right here. Delta's Slaughter was the Army. Okay, my bad. Slaughter was the Army. Europe.
What up, bro?
When
Stick
did you
around,
get your
man.
channel? We've had our channel for about
Few years now.
2,
3.
3?
Yeah.
About 3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Make sure you hit that like button. Of course, smash the like button. Marine Corps best branch. Of course it was, Delta. No, you're right. Drill instructor. Pause. Yep, he was. Yeah, Marine Corps. Yep, he was a drill instructor. That's right. And that's all the few comments we had.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure.
Let me do one more. Where we at? Create a post. There we go.
Yeah.
Create a
So-
post on YouTube.
We are here, y'all. I got my handy dandy laptop over here, so we can keep this conversation going. I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to this one,
The
y'all.
conversation is very, very important. It needs to be had.
I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. It needs to be had.
Yeah, I believe this is one that's going to help more than hurt. I mean, we try to help more than hurt in all situations.
Right. In all conversations. We need y'all to stick around too, y'all. Stay in the chat, please, y'all. Stay in there. Stay in there.
All right, let's go.
All right, we ready? Let's
Yes,
do
sir.
it.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
do it.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, tonight's topic is silent or setup. And from the standpoint that we're coming from, God spoke to Adam with demands, requests, and explanations. We all know it's a different topic, but we know there's other people that were around. They just weren't in the garden. In the garden, there was Adam, there was Eve, there was Lilith, there was a couple other things. But God spoke to Adam and told Adam not to eat the apple. What did he say to Eve?
Nothing. So we looking at it from this conversation is coming from the aspect of
Hey, Morg.
a question mark behind this. Did God only talk to man and not to woman? You see what I'm saying? Did God only talk to man and not woman?
That's deep.
That question mark. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we're talking about tonight, y'all. And that's why I said just be ready, be prepared. Do not be offended by the conversation that we have. We ask you to join in the conversation.
So did God only talk to man? Well, let's see. He talked to Moses. He talked to Noah. He spoke to David. Maybe Joshua.
Hmm.
I can't think of any more off the top of my head. Did he speak to James?
I mean, well, all the apostles or prophets,
He spoke to.
they claim he spoke
Okay,
to them.
okay,
You know
okay,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
okay.
So, but um, this is what just one of them questions where I'm not gonna say you have to be well versed in the Bible, but you
You
know what
have
I'm
to
saying.
be.
You have to
You have to have some knowledge of the
right,
Bible
and you have to research this and stuff
or
like that.
any holy book for that matter. Not necessarily
Right.
the Bible. It could be the Quran because they talk about how God spoke to the prophets
Hmm.
in the Quran. Um, what is the Judaism book called? Anyway,
Yeah. So,
they
I mean,
spoke to male prophets in there too.
right.
Basically, throughout history, um, God speaks to males because males are supposed to be the head of the organization or the front. So he speaks to the front, and the message gets trickled down through the man to the other people.
Mm,
Would you agree?
I would disagree.
Okay.
I would disagree. Um, Now, as far as the story of Adam and Eve,
Mm-hmm.
yes, God spoke to Adam, and the devil spoke to Eve
Right.
through the serpent.
Right.
Right? I'm not gonna say a snake because it was a serpent, but God spoke to Adam, told him, "Don't eat from this tree." Even when they did, and he was punished, he spoke to Adam
Right.
about their punishment.
Right.
Y'all will be banded, and y'all will see y'all, and know, you know what I'm saying?
You'll
They
see more
realized they
than
were
what you're
naked
supposed
and all this
to.
other
Right.
stuff, right?
Right.
Okay, so from that aspect, from that story, from that allegory, yes, he only spoke to man. But there are scriptures in the Bible, other stories in the Bible where he did speak to women directly. He and also um, after speaking with my brother, my best friend, you know what I'm saying, and he enlightened me to a lot of stuff because I was researching and preparing for the podcast. You know, there are a few other examples of God speaking to women. Hell, he made a goat speak.
Okay.
A donkey, a donkey. He made a donkey speak.
Okay.
Hell, the burning bush was talking.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there are other examples of God talking to women and through women.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
So
yeah, let's
Delta
get into it
had a
though.
comment.
Okay.
Delta said Eve knew not to eat from the tree because she told the serpent, God told me not to eat it. Yes, in the Bible, God spoke mostly to men.
Absolutely.
But why is that?
And that's what we're talking about tonight.
Do you feel like the women were independent, had their own brain way back then?
I mean, I think women have always been independent, you know what I'm saying?
I'm saying
And
had
had
their own
it.
brain in the sense of choosing right from wrong.
Yes, I
Okay.
do. But
Okay.
um it comes down to what you believe. And I don't mean as far as your religious or spiritual belief. I just
Right.
mean what do you believe as far as in the Bible, if you do follow the Bible. Like do you feel like
Or holy
he's
book, period. Not
right,
just
or a
about.
holy book, right?
Yeah.
I appreciate that
No
too. I
doubt. No
definitely
doubt.
appreciate that. If you feel like that, the man is the head, and like you said, it trickled down from the man, so the man would tell the woman, and blah blah blah. Then yeah, the fact that he spoke to Moses or this person or this person or this person would make sense. But there are examples like Jesus' mother. You know what I'm saying? He
Mm.
spoke to her.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
He did.
And there's a few others.
Did he speak to her through Joseph or did he speak to her?
Well, according to the text,
Mm-hmm.
he spoke to her.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He said that he spoke to her, but she said, excuse me, she said that he spoke to her.
So then she passed the word on to Joseph.
I'm not sure. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
Because I don't know.
Okay.
But once again, just doing the research and being prepared for the podcast.
But he spoke to her.
Yes, he
Okay.
spoke to her.
Was there anybody else?
Oh, it's plenty. It's plenty of other examples. Yeah, that kind of got in the way right there. But there's plenty of other examples where he spoke to women directly.
Deuce in the building.
Deuce in the building. What up, bro? We appreciate you tuning in.
So not to take anything away from God speaking to women.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say, well, obviously it'd be significantly less women than men, but who else besides Mary has he spoke to?
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
hold on. I'm still Still trying to send out a couple invites, y'all,
Okay,
because
okay,
we wanted
okay.
everybody to get in
Okay.
on this. But okay, so the Sumerian women,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying, which was Sumeria was the name of the city, and I believe the Sumerians was them as a whole. He spoke to the women of that city, to all of the women of that city.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, directly to them. And like I said, sometimes according to the text, he used other women, you know what I'm saying, as the vessel, as the mouthpiece, you know what I'm saying, and spoke through them. You know what
Now,
I'm saying?
I guess my only gripe with that is when we get to talking about Sumerian,
Mhm.
you have to speak about other entities other than God.
Okay. Well, and I would agree with that, right?
Okay.
I would
Okay.
agree with that
Okay.
because you start talking about Sumerians, and then that goes into Atlantis, you know what I'm saying?
Anunnaki.
Yeah,
Okay.
Anunnaki,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, and so on and so on, which is not spoken of in the Bible, though.
No,
Even though those books are taken out of the Bible,
it's in
and
the
you can
Emerald
find
Tablet.
those
Yeah.
other texts, right? Emerald tablets, Dead Sea Scrolls, which
Dead
the
Sea
book is right
Scrolls.
over there
Mhm.
behind Unc on the desk. Dead
Okay.
Sea Scrolls is right there over your shoulder.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm about to borrow
but
that.
Just Sumerians, just in the sake of the Bible,
Okay.
just to
Okay.
keep it, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying,
Okay.
keep
Just
it clean, keep it
okay.
easy, boom, you know what I'm saying. So he spoke to those women as a whole.
What did he say? What was the conversation?
I don't know, and
Okay.
I wish I would have wrote that part down so we
Gotcha.
can
Gotcha.
go over exactly what was said. But it said that he spoke to them, you know, and I think that's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, where there are examples of him speaking to other women other than the serpent or the devil speaking to Eve.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
there are other examples of God, whatever God you may believe in, speaking to women.
You know, this is a deep and riveting conversation for the simple fact. Like I say, every time we get on here, I say I be going down the rabbit hole on YouTube, watching all kind of videos, and my algorithm, my algorithm, is something serious on YouTube, and it astonishes me because there was a conversation on one of the videos I watched um, about the women in the Bible,
Mhm.
but from then to now, I guess he speaks more to women in the sense of we have female preachers and pastors. So I
Mhm.
guess they're called by the Lord. So if they're called by the Lord, he speaks to more women now than he does men. I guess because men don't listen, or
And that's a great question too, which can be a whole conversation within itself.
it could be. It could be.
Because a lot of people are against women being pastors. A lot of women are against women being pastors,
Mm.
which is crazy, you know. But some people believe in their Bible, their Torah, their Quran,
Torah. That's
you know
what
what
it
I'm
is.
saying?
Okay.
Whatever it is, whatever
Right, right,
religious
right,
book
right,
that you
right.
read, they believe in that so much that they feel like women can't be the head of a church.
Or
They can
or the
be,
head of a family.
well, they can be leaders in the church, but not the head leader, not the head person, not the head of their family. Well,
Right.
a leader within the family, but not the head
Right.
leader.
They could be a
You know what I'm
leader
saying?
of the family, or
Right.
in the family.
So they won't follow them, and they get a lot of pushback,
That's
and stuff like
blasphemy.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why a lot of women will become a deacon or deaconess of the
Mm-hmm.
church. You know what I'm saying, or first lady
First lady,
and
right?
stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, right? But a lot of churches experience a decline in numbers when they have a female pastor because they feel like that's not going against
That's going
the
against
word.
God, right?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So I find that to be interesting too, though, especially with this whole woman empowerment movement where most women will bond together, even through lying and whatever. That's a whole nother story.
So,
But yeah.
can I ask, is Joan of Arc? Is that no, not of Arc? What is
Yeah,
Joan?
Joan of Arc.
It is Joan
Yeah,
of Arc. Okay, she was spoken to by God, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of your examples, right?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Well,
Joan of Arc wasn't one of them.
okay. What else you got for us? Because I think in the garden he spoke to Adam, because in the garden the way it's explained, Adam was first. So he speak to the creation he created first, not to the person he created for that person.
Okay, I mean, and that's a very viable option as well. You know, where I'm speaking to you, you speak to this person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Chain of command.
Yeah, exactly.
We know
So
it very well.
that can actually be a thing, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely be a thing. But if that's the case, why was it that the devil decided to speak to her?
'Cause maybe she was listening.
Okay, not only that, but maybe the devil knew something that God didn't know, or the devil said, "Oh, this is my chance right here. God don't want to talk to her, but I'm gonna talk to her,
Well, okay, in that scenario,
and I'm gonna get in her mind."
I'm gonna say, um, like I said, the chain of command. God spoke to Adam because the chain of command. He created Adam 1st.
Mhm.
She's second. The devil, the serpent, whatever evil entity entered Eve's mind, was either because she was susceptible or because she was open to the truth. Because what God told Adam wasn't necessarily a lie, but it wasn't a complete truth.
You said, "Well, who told who?"
What God told Adam
Mhm.
wasn't necessarily a lie.
Right.
It just wasn't the complete truth. So with that being said, maybe the serpent, the devil, told Eve
Mhm.
the truth because she was only one susceptible to hear it, or she was the only one that could see the truth once it was said. Because
Or
man is meant to be obedient, and that's how the Bible reads as far as obedience in the Bible. It's meant you're meant not to have an opinion. You're meant not to second guess any uh, message given.
right, but let's say, okay, so we all know the story of Adam and Eve, right, for the most
Right.
part. But if the devil was once upon a time God's right hand man, right,
Mm-hmm.
and then he got casted out, why wouldn't he be like, well, you know what? Let me go ahead and try to get one up on him. If Adam is allegedly your first creation, the first human, which that's a whole nother story. 'Cause
Right.
we already know.
I said first human in the garden.
Right.
That's how I
Which
put it.
that's still
In the garden.
right. Why wouldn't the devil try to come in and be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna talk to her. I'm gonna get in her brain. You see what I'm saying? Because she will have influence over him, and to some not influence, but he'll listen to her.
She'll have
You
influence
see
over.
what I'm
You're
saying?
right.
Right. So why wouldn't the devil do that? You see what I'm saying? Since God isn't speaking to her, the devil decided to speak to her. Now I want to go and answer one of your other questions
Okay.
that you asked me about before.
True.
Okay, so Hagar, Hagar, Hagar.
Okay.
Right. Back in the day, there was a comic book called Hagar the Horrible.
There was.
Some of y'all may know that. So that's
It was in the Sunday's
if
paper.
y'all know, right? If y'all know what Hagar. Okay, now this is not that. I'm just saying the name is the same.
Right.
Just to give y'all a reference. So,
Okay.
an angel of the Lord spoke to her in the wilderness, promising her a son and calling her by name. You see what I'm saying? Calling her by name.
Okay.
So these are examples.
The angel.
Yes, but it was through, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know how they say
That's
the
where
Holy
he. That's what
Trinity
he.
and
Yes.
all this other stuff.
Okay.
So an angel of the Lord. So they saying God sent the angel to speak to her. You see what I'm saying? To
Okay.
say this. Boom. So that's him talking to her, right?
That's him sending a message.
Okay, well, Sarah. A lot of y'all know Sarah in the Bible, right?
Okay.
God spoke to her about the promise of a son even when she doubted. God spoke to her. Now, like I said, these are just examples of God speaking to women in the Bible. Because you may, like I said, tonight's topic is about God only speaking to man and not speaking to a woman. So there are examples of God speaking to women in the Bible. Also, someone made a comment about so he graped her. Are they saying that Adam graped Eve? And y'all know what we mean when we say grape. Is that was that a thing? You know what I'm saying?
It could have been.
So if anyone has ever heard about that, please feel free to speak on it. You know what I'm saying? And let me know. Did Adam grape Eve? You know what I'm saying? Now, also, this topic brings about the conversation of Lilith. And they said that Lilith was with Adam before Eve.
his first wife.
Right. That's what they say. Lilith was the
It's-
first wife.
It's in the Bible.
So,
But
that-
okay, so let's open the door with that.
okay.
So let's say the devil's not the one that spoke to Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Lilith is the one that spoke to Eve.
Okay.
And the reason she listened, because it came from another woman.
Right. Okay.
So she gave her a little bit of knowledge that was disobeying what God said,
Mhm.
that Adam told her,
Mhm.
because she gave her an opinion from another woman. So she's like, this is what you should do, because this is how you get good with them.
Mm-hmm. So
So she was susceptible to the message.
But I'm saying, I got some comments.
Okay. Which churches are cults?
Oh, that's a good question. You let us know on that one real quick, if you don't mind.
Negan Walker.
Which churches are cults?
That.
I mean, Scientology. I mean,
Catholic.
You know what I'm
Roman
saying?
Catholic.
Roman Catholic is very, controlling.
Not controlling.
You know? Yeah.
What's the word? The rituals.
Yeah.
Rituals.
Ritualistic.
Ritualistic.
Absolutely.
Mormons, Jehovah Witness, and Scientology. Yes.
Some
all
of them,
those. Yes.
Yeah. Some of them do operate very cultish. You know what I'm talking about? And that's true. But
So
some people still decide to get in them.
So back to what I was saying. What if
Mhm.
the serpent wasn't the devil? It was Lilith. So she listened to another woman. That's why she acted and did what she did, because a woman told her from a woman's place, this is how you get Adam to whatever.
Right. Okay. So okay. And my question from that would be: was there no serpent, and they just put the serpent in it? You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Or did Lilith turn into a serpent or take control of a serpent?
She probably turned into one, because they say she's in line of Medusa.
Right.
So
yeah. Okay. Well, and that would be a great story. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, we don't know if any of this stuff is true. We just speaking from the aspect of the thumbnail. Of the Adam and Eve stuff. So yeah, this is one of those things that can go a lot of different ways, y'all. What do y'all think, though? We want to know what y'all think. Who do y'all think? That aspect with the Lilith thing is very true, because a lot of people don't know about Lilith. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so Negan Walker said, "Don't think so. Eve was the only woman in the garden." No, Lilith was in the garden too, sir. Lilith was in the garden first. Before there was ever a Eve, Adam was with Lilith. Adam didn't like being with Lilith because Lilith wanted to take control and do what she wanted when it came to intercourse. That's the way I read it. We're going to say that's the word, not because I want to get like banned on here or anything, but when it came to sharing power and ideas, he didn't want to listen to her. But she had an opinion because she was there before him. So she felt like she was more knowledgeable than Adam. Where is Lilith in the Bible?
I don't think she's in the canonized text. So she's not in.
She's in the King James.
They speak of Lilith in the King James version.
Yes.
I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. But Lilith played a key role. You know what I'm saying? She was Adam's first wife. A lot of people don't believe that, but that is the truth. So when you start thinking about, was Eve made from his rib? Maybe so. Maybe they need to make another woman who was more compatible to him, to his liking.
More submissive.
More submissive and stuff like that. Who knows? But Lilith is his first wife. Or was, or whatever.
All right, I'm finna tell him. Hold on.
Okay.
Lilith in the Bible, tracing the origins of the first woman myth. Lilith appears Isaiah 34:14.
Isaiah 34:14. That's what they saying.
And that's in the King James Bible.
King James. Isaiah 34:14 speaks of Lilith. So if y'all want to go check that out and
Genesis 1,
read what it
Genesis
says,
1:27, Genesis 2:21, 22. She's in the Bible, sir. I'm Not making this up to you.
And y'all go check that out real quick and let us know what it say. While y'all doing that, they say God spoke directly to Rebecca. Rebecca was the mother of a set of twins, famous twins in the Bible, Esau and Jacob. Esau and Jacob. He being God spoke directly to her regarding the destiny of her twins. So this is another example of God speaking directly to women, where a lot of people may once again think that God didn't speak to women. So this is just another example of that. You know,
So God wasn't misogynistic, basically.
I mean, that's a good question, honestly. But
Googled it is not in there.
Huh?
He said he Googled it. It's not in there.
Damn.
It is in there. I just read it. It describes her as a monster.
So can you actually read that scripture, the Genesis and
Not a problem,
and the
sir.
other one, so that way you know.
Let's see. The first one, the Isaiah one.
Yeah. Was it 49 something?
34:14.
34:14.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let me. As a night creature or spirit, not as Adam's first wife, as ceremony believed, the popular narrative of Lilith as Adam's rebellious first wife comes primarily from medieval Jewish texts, alphabet of Ben Ser, not biblical scripture. Lilith is a Mesopotamian, roots in ancient demons like Lilith, Lasthmo, and showing how cultural borrowing influenced Jewish demonology. All right, now I'm going to read from the Hebrew word. Appears exactly once in the Tanakh in Isaiah 34:14, where the prophet describes the desolation of Edom. Wildcats shall meet with hyenas, goat demons shall call to each other. There too, Lilith shall repose and find peace to rest. Lilith appears alongside various desert creatures and seems to be another nocturnal animal or spirit, not as Adam's first wife. The King James Version translates this as screech owl, while other translations render it as night monster or night hag. This single ambiguous reference is the only canonical foothold for Lilith in Scripture.
Okay. Okay.
So I guess she's not in the canonized Bible.
Yeah. See, and I didn't think that she was in that sense. A lot of times in the King James Version of the Bible, or what's called the New Living Translation of the Bible, you know what I'm saying? As well as the other one, I can't think of it. But, that's it, the New and the Old Testament. She wasn't really in there, right?
Well, God created man in his own image, male, female created them. And the second, where God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam and created woman Eve from Adam's rib, Lilith's legend developed partially as an attempt to harmonize these different narratives, suggested the first account refers to Lilith's creation and second to Eve's. Myth, scripture, and misinterpretation. Okay.
Well, once again, y'all, this is a good conversation because it opens up the doors for so many different avenues of conversation.
So, okay. So if you're speaking about the Mesopotamia part of the Bible, she's the spirit.
Okay.
So that's where she derives from. And he said, "Told you." Okay, I'm wrong sometimes.
Right. But
I'm right
people
sometimes
know
too.
About her though.
Yeah, people do know
She's
about her.
in a lot of different movies. You know what I'm saying? A lot of other books and religious texts and all this other stuff, right? Another example of God speaking to a woman was Samson. Y'all know Samson in the Bible.
And Delilah?
The man he's super strong.
With the hair.
With the hair.
Okay.
Right. So God spoke to his mother.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Gave her instructions on what to
do.
Yeah. So once again, these are just different.
That sounds like what's his name? Achilles. When God spoke to his mom, telling her how to make him invulnerable,
right?
Everything but the heel of his foot,
right? Well, you know, a lot of these stories be translated and passed down.
It does.
Who knows where it came from first? You know what I'm saying? I'll say that.
All right, Negan Walker said yes. They cut his hair. Samson was strong. Yeah. So Negan, would you agree or disagree that God speaks to women throughout the Bible? And if so, why do you feel like serpent or whoever spoke to Eve to tell her that it was okay to eat the apple when they didn't speak to Adam? Only God spoke to Adam and told him not to eat the apple.
Right. That's
So-
a great question right there.
There you go. Yeah.
That's a great question right there.
Yeah.
Why did God speak to Adam and tell him what he told him, but the devil spoke to Eve and told her what he told him? Or she, whoever the serpent
Whoever
was.
the serpent was, right.
Right.
That's a hard one, not sure.
It,
Okay.
it really is. See? And we appreciate you too for
Yeah,
admitting
we
that.
appreciate
that
you
is a
that.
really
Yeah.
difficult question to answer. You know what I'm saying? Which we'll never know why. And now there is a few more examples that I have of God speaking to women.
Mhm.
So Huldah, Huldah, Huldah. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that.
I never heard that.
A prophetess who brought a message from God to King Josiah.
Prophetess.
Yes. So she brought a message from God to the
Mhm.
king,
Okay.
saying that, hey, God gave me this message to deliver to you.
Right.
Kind of like, remember in 300?
Okay.
When
Okay.
right before the dude got kicked in the hole,
Right.
he had delivered a message
He was the
from
messenger.
the Persian king.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, this woman said she received the message from God to go to Josiah, King
Okay.
Josiah. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? So, and once again, y'all, we are not saying that we are trying to push anybody to believe anything. This is just a conversation to be had, just like any other conversation. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want y'all to think that we pushing anything on y'all, because we're not. We're just having conversation, content. Deborah, or Deborah, however you want to say it.
Okay.
People
Deborah.
pronounce it. Yeah,
I've heard
pronounce
of
it
Deborah.
differently. Right. Another prophetess and judge who spoke the word of God to Israel, instructing Barak on God's behalf.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So
Okay.
once again, she's saying that she's speaking, and these instructions is on God's behalf.
Okay.
She was a prophetess. So if y'all know a prophet, she's a female prophetess. You know what I'm saying? And she's saying, hey, these things came from God.
So would it be safe to say he spoke to Mary Magdalene too?
It's funny that you say that, because Mary Magdalene, Jesus personally commissioned her to tell the disciples about his resurrection, making her the apostle to the apostles. So all of the apostles looked at her as the ultimate apostle, kind of like the boss of all bosses,
But that was Jesus. That wasn't God at the time.
where they say Jesus and God is the same.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm just saying, you know,
Right,
you
right,
know, once
right,
again,
right.
Holy Trinity and all that other stuff. He's the Son of God, but he's also God. So, yeah. And they saying that he spoke to Mary Magdalene, you know what I'm saying, to tell everybody about his resurrection.
Yeah, this
Mary
conversation is
Magdalene.
going to open the door for a lot of things.
It absolutely is. And if
Yeah.
y'all know who Mary Magdalene is, then y'all already know. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Absolutely. The bleeding woman.
Bleeding woman?
Jesus spoke directly to her to affirm her faith and her healing.
Bleeding woman.
Yeah, that's what it's called. That what she was called, the bleeding woman.
Hmm.
Once again, y'all, these are just examples that you find in the Bible. I didn't hear of half of these. Just being honest.
I heard of some of them.
I heard of maybe one or two of them. You know what I'm
I heard
saying?
a couple more
But
than that. Yeah.
I didn't know of this many situations in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that I'm some misogynist, or not even saying I'm somebody who believe in the Bible. How about that?
Right,
Let's say
right.
that. Because that makes it more controversial.
That does make it more controversial. I'm not even going to respond to that, you know.
No, I didn't say I did or I didn't. I'm just saying.
Right.
If we say I didn't, that it just makes my argument more better, because here it is. These are examples of a man speaking to a woman in the Bible, regardless of what I believe or don't believe.
Correct.
That's
Negan, what happened to you? Well, are you still there? I mean, what's going on with you? We need some more. We need some more feedback. Morg, if you're still in the building, we need some feedback. I didn't see Annie come in today. Delta, I think he's working and in the chat.
Who?
Delta.
Okay. Well, we definitely appreciate everybody, you know what I'm saying, for dropping knowledge on this one for real. Because from an opinion point, we just want to know, do you think that God only spoke to men? and not to women.
Hmm.
You know, he was talking about it earlier. He didn't. He touched on it, but he said, "Nah, he gonna back up off it." Speaking about who was in the Garden of Eden and
Right.
who wasn't,
Right.
where there is teachings, right? And you
Right.
have to go outside of the Bible. There are
Have to go
teachings
outside. Yep.
where there were guards stationed at the Garden of Eden.
There were.
Well, if these the first two people, how there's guards?
And who are you protecting it
And
from?
who are you protecting it from?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, and this is just once you start doing your own individual research outside of what the Bible teaches you. You know, so you start to understand that the Garden of Eden, for lack of a better word, was more like a breeding ground. They had actual times where they would procreate.
And when we start talking about this kind of rhetoric,
Right.
it opens the door for
A lot of other
the
things.
Anunnaki.
Anunnaki.
The Anunnaki. I'm sorry. The Anunnaki, the Atlanteans, the Sumerians,
Yes.
the Egyptians.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
the conversation goes
Well,
a lot of different ways.
Yes, because it starts to get broadened.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
like first you got a dot, then you get a circle.
Then you get a
You know what I'm
triangle.
saying? Then you get something bigger
Then you get a
and
square.
bigger and bigger and bigger
Uh-huh.
because all these different entities start to come in. Because somebody can tell you, well, hey, if you believe in the stories about Adam and Eve, how you can't believe in the stories about Atlanteans
Or
the Anunnaki or the Nephilims?
or
You know what I'm saying? Or the Greys.
or
Yeah. Or the Atlanteans. You know what I'm saying? Or
But Nephilims are in the Bible too, though.
right, they absolutely
Because
are.
the most famous Nephilim that I can think of is Samson and Goliath. No, not Samson. David and Goliath.
Uh-huh.
Goliath was a giant.
Right,
That's the Nephilim.
right.
The devil, Lucifer, whatever you want to call him, Satan, was an angel. Angels came down, slept with humans, made Nephilims.
Right. Absolutely. And that's the story. And that's that's what they say. The angels came down, slept with human women, made the Nephilim.
And then when you get to talking that talk, you're talking about the Greek or the Roman
Right.
dichotomy
Right.
of religion.
Yes.
In a sense of Zeus is always known for coming down, sleeping with humans, changing his form, being birds, being animals, luring women.
Well, and once again, you start to understand what, like you said, breaking into that line of thinking, you start to see Thoth,
Mm-hmm.
Thoth,
The guy that
Thoth.
lived 100,000 years.
Well, they say that he's the one who people refer to as God because he was the one who said, "There shall be no other God other than me."
That's what Thoth said.
That's what Thoth said,
Mm.
and he was referring to his other brother. That's also going back into the Greek origins of religion and all the other stuff. Wherever we see God, God, singular, add an S to it. You know what I'm saying? Man was made in our image, not my image. And we're just speaking of
And
the
but
broader speaking of what some of these religious texts is talking about.
But see, Thoth is also the oldest living prophet. At the same token, that kept living life through different
Yes.
vessels.
Yes. So, and what he's speaking of right there, because I read it before. So, first of all, you have to know that Thoth was an Atlantean. They call him Thoth the Atlantean, right? So, in the great pyramid of Giza, I believe,
Giza.
or the if it wasn't that one, it was the other one. But anyway, he had a secret chamber where he would shift his consciousness into another body every 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So he would go like,
Seen
okay, you know what?
wars.
Yeah, he'd do everything and rule, and then he'll shift his consciousness over to this brand new healthy body. And these are just things that, once again, I'm not saying I believe it, but I'm just saying this is what the text says.
Right, because they say
know
he
what I'm
took
saying?
many forms
Right.
and ruled for 100,000 years.
Which is why all over the world you have similar pyramid structures. You have similar hieroglyphs.
But
So you can see the hieroglyphics in Egypt and then compare them to the hieroglyphs that's in Mexico, the Aztecs.
they
and
still
all the
have some
other stuff.
hieroglyphics in Alabama.
Absolutely, yes. A lot of the pyramids and structures and stuff that were here. It's a lot of them here too.
Mhm.
A lot of them.
The Grand Canyon.
Yes,
Um,
but he
Vegas.
took on,
Well, not Vegas, but Nevada. They got pyramids and.
he took on so many different forms
Mm-hmm.
and would rule in different parts of the world,
Mm-hmm.
which is why a lot of this stuff is similar. So they finding writings on walls, like he said, in the Grand Canyon, and then they will find these same writings on the wall in, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, somewhere in South America, and you like, wait a minute, what? Same thing, you know what I'm saying? How is this stuff like here and here? The
At the
pyramid that they
same
got
time.
over there in Southeast Asia that they discovered got the similar writings to what's in Africa, and you like, what? So these are things that they are writing, and they're starting to develop. And for people who read the Bible, believe in the Bible wholeheartedly, you can't shut this stuff out.
No.
You can't just say, I only believe in Jesus. I stop right there. You
I mean-
can't do that. You have to at least listen
To the
to
argument.
some of the other
right.
things that people are talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'd like to also say that coming up in school, from my day to your day to whatever day we're talking about, as far back as it goes,
Mhm.
history talks about some of these people. History proves that Genghis Khan was here.
Mhm.
History proves that what was the black king that had all the gold?
Mansa Musa.
Mansa Musa proves that he was here.
Yeah.
So
Richest man in history.
richest man in history. If these people were here, and they say they all derive from here, there, here, you have no choice but to acknowledge different books for what they are.
Mhm.
Some could be stories, but even with comic books, and this is a little off topic, but even with comic books, there's some truth to it. And I say that to say Superman may not have been a guy in a costume flying around saving the world, but there have been people throughout time that had different abilities that weren't like everybody else's. So,
And that's true. And it's funny because, like, going off of that part right there, there is currently an Egyptian cartoon.
is
and it
it?
was made by black folks, and it's not like
Are you talking about Desert Sands?
that might be it.
Okay.
But that shit is actually pretty dope,
And they have powers,
and they
right?
have powers,
Mhm.
right? And it derives from a lot of the powers that they talk about in Egypt with some of the things and weaponry that they had way before anybody knew what some of this stuff was. So the power of electricity, anti-gravity, super
Water,
speed,
heat.
yeah, all this other stuff, right? And in this cartoon, some of these people are able to do some of these things. But if you have read some of the books on this stuff, you're like, oh shit, wait a minute. So anti-gravity is one of the ways that they said they built the pyramids. You know what I'm saying? Having anti-gravity devices.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That helps
Because
them
there's no
move.
way you could lift one of those blocks.
Right.
They've
Moving
already.
2,000 ton sandstone blocks.
Mm-hmm. But
The Great Pyramid used 2 million blocks.
Mhm.
2 million individual blocks precisely put in place where you couldn't even slip a piece of paper in between them.
Correct.
There's no
They're
way,
sealed.
right, that you can do that without having some type of technological machinery, you know what I'm saying, at your disposal.
But the crazy part about it, if we're jumping into that dialect,
Mhm.
that would mean that time is going backwards, because for them to be primitive back then, supposedly, but have technology of G force and gravity, anti gravity, for them to have technology like that, that means that they're ahead of us. But we're going backwards because we don't have those things yet. We don't have
Mhm.
the properties or solution to change our body's conscience from one body to another.
Right.
So if they were advanced, or as you want to put it, not advanced, but they had to be advanced,
Mhm.
because we're here today with all kind of technological things, and we still can't duplicate a pyramid.
Well, okay, so according to the text, an example of what you're saying and how we came to be going backwards, as you said,
Mhm.
right,
Mhm.
is the Tower of Babel, right? So a lot of people, and I'm sure Unc may know the story of Tower of Babel. So God comes back, right? Thoth comes back, you know what I'm saying? And he see that all of these people are building a tower to get to heaven, right?
Right.
They say, meaning the people in power, Thoth, the gods, the angels, whoever, say, hey,
Right.
these humans can do anything they put their mind to.
Right.
They are too smart.
Right.
What they do? They made everybody speak a different language.
And send them
Poof.
different parts.
Y'all can't work. Not only did they send them in different parts, but everybody who's here, now y'all can't work together.
Because y'all don't understand each
Also,
other.
they say, according to the book, man's years shall be how many? 120. Right? Because before then, people was living to be 200, 300, 400 years
500
old.
years old. Yep.
And they say that man's age shall be 100 plus 20 years. And this is the Tower of Babel.
Mhm.
So what he just did was stop our learning. They're learning too fast. You see what I'm saying? So now we got to start all over. And another writings about the Atlanteans, the Anunnaki, and all of them, they said that humans will progress too fast and will destroy themselves.
And that's where we're
You
headed.
see what I'm saying? And also in those same writings and stuff, it says that these great cities, New York City, San Francisco, Chicago, all these was built by other beings. Because when you go and look back into the 1930s, the 1920s, where they was allegedly building these buildings in the 1920s, there's no clear proof of them building those skyscrapers in the 1920s.
Because they didn't have the
You
material.
got men with hammers tinkering on shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's no clear proof.
And some of that shit welded together. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So these are, and once again, we're not saying this is true. We're just saying from the writings that they wrote.
If you believe in
this is
anything,
what they say in the writings.
You should open your mind to everything.
Absolutely. You have to at least read it. At least read it. Don't shun it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't.
Because the same way you believe whatever your teachings are, whatever they are, is the same way you need to have an open mind and read some of this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
There's a few things in life that are true.
Mm-hmm.
They teach you how to read.
Mm-hmm.
They teach you math.
Yes.
Math and reading are the essential parts of life. No
Mm-hmm.
matter what you do, no matter if you do podcasts, you do radio, you do build stuff, whatever, reading and math are essential. Now, some people are workers and some people, everybody's a worker. Everybody's a worker because everybody works somewhere for somebody doing something.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that knowledge, like we've said on the show before, maybe not about this topic, the internet can show you and teach you how to do anything. Any question you have, any theory you have, you can find on the internet to be true somewhere.
Yes.
But a lot of people hold on to the Bible, the Torah, the Quran as being the only viable history book. And that's not true.
Right. Because you have some people who may go through, and every religion has a discipleship course, right? And some people may go through the discipleship course, and in doing so, believe that their particular religion is the right religion, not understanding that every religion has a discipleship course that tells you that. All of them tell you, go through this for 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 10 weeks,
16 weeks,
16 weeks, right? And complete this course, and now you'll know the complete truth. And it's like, listen, all of them do that. All religions do that. You know what I'm saying?
Bradley Q6H, true that. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Yes.
Share this.
Share
Hit the like button.
Hit the like button.
You have to start keeping an open mind, a broader mindset, y'all.
You have to. 12 months.
You know, because these discipleship courses will make you believe that your religion is the true religion, is the only religion, and it will keep you from reading other texts.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Malcolm X talked about reading other texts.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? You have to start opening your mind. You can't be just one-track minded and be like, oh, this is all I'm going to read. That's it.
And it's the only truth in the world.
Right. Now, you read other stuff, you get other information, and they're not trying to change you. They just want you to have a better understanding of what it is that you believe in.
Just opens the door.
That's it. Open the door for newer knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
The same way y'all pick up books and read them about romance, love stories, mysteries, crime stories, documentaries y'all watch about this is supposed to be true and this is not supposed to be true. The world is full of truths and non-truths. Emerald tablets, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the history of man is deeper than what is in a book that you go to school and learn about. That's all I'm saying. The history of man is deeper than the book you were given or forced to read because that's the religion that your family grew up in, or
Right.
that's the religion your family pushed you in.
Yep.
The history of man is so deep, you need to pick up other books to understand it.
Absolutely. And start to understand that if your religion or your belief system tells you that God only spoke to man or only woman, that might not be the
Proper
religion for you.
text. Yeah, that might not be the
Yeah.
proper
You know
text
what I'm
for
saying?
you.
You need to second guess it. Or maybe that's what you want to hear.
Annie's in the building. She says, I guess you could say I'm a Baptist and I was never told to go through any discipleship courses. Um, don't feel bad, Annie, because there's a lot of people that aren't told to go through discipleship courses. Only time you know about them is if you ask questions that your pastor really can't answer.
Mm-hmm.
They'll send you to they'll open you up to these different books. If they don't understand, they will.
He said, no, they won't. They want
Okay.
you to,
I'm just telling you, they won't.
right.
Okay, well, let's take Dashi.
Okay.
How did Dashi find a discipleship course that he took?
I can't answer for him. I don't know.
You okay?
I mean, he
mean,
told me that he's taking it.
Right, but he didn't tell you how he ended up taking
I don't know if his pastor told him about it or if they introduced it to him.
I
You know
wonder
what I'm
about that. Hey, Dashi, if you're in the building, if you're listening, please chime in and tell us where would you find a discipleship course
I would think that
for
the
those that are
pastor-
looking for it.
right.
I would think the
that
pastor,
yeah, would
but it may
have-
not be every pastor. Every pastor may
No.
not do that
That's true. That's true.
because a lot of pastors don't want you to know more than what they know.
Right. Well, and typically these discipleship courses, the pastors has probably helped put together.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Or they've been through already themselves.
right.
And those discipleship courses are, in my opinion, I don't know because I've never taken one, but they're designed for you to believe that this religion is the true
Right.
religion. You know what I'm saying? Because Muslims believe the same thing. With
They
their
do.
teachings.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? The
It's
Torah,
it's a
Quran,
course through being a Muslim.
Latter-day Saints.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? The Mormons. They all believe that their teaching is
It's the correct teaching, right?
Right. And
Annie added, by choice, I went to Bible school and we had classes on other religions and other Bibles. Riley says sounds counterproductive. It is,
good
but it
point.
isn't. So
and I
man.
agree with that statement too, that it is and it isn't.
Okay,
And I'll tell
so
you why. after
religion is big business.
it is.
Period.
It is.
The way you control a group of people
Mhm.
is with religion.
Mhm.
If you can teach people to believe in this
Mhm.
and fear this,
Mhm.
you can control whether they go or leave. You can control how they spend their money. You can control the way they presumably act. You can control how they react. Annie, I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna look it up. But Riley, so with knowing that religion can control people, the Roman Catholic, the Buddhist, the Judas, the Christian, the Muslim, and it might be another one, Indian, Hinduism. They're all designed to keep you as a sheep. So the whole reference in the Bible about the shepherd and the sheep, religion keeps you as a sheep. A lot of people don't question the shepherd. Like if a sheep could talk, because they're supposed to be the dumbest animal in the world, and innately they are, because they'll walk up to a wolf and get eaten because they don't have a sense of danger. So I say that to say, if you're a follower of a religion and
Thank you for watching.
you don't ever question anything in that religion, and you don't ever seek knowledge outside of that religion, you'll be a sheep.
Mm-hmm.
You won't question the shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
You'll take what they give you.
Yep.
You'll live under whatever thumb they put you under. It takes a radical mind to question what they've been taught their whole life.
And I agree, y'all. And like I said, and I know we're a little bit off topic, right? But this is what happens with this type of conversation. The because it's so broad and it's so much to talk about because it just keeps expanding and expanding, right? So, a few things to get into based off what he just said. A year used to be 10 months, right? 10 months. And we know this based off of the names of the months, right? So October, OCT, in any other language is 8. It's always been 8. In ours, it's 10. November was always 9. In ours, it's 11. December, DEC, was always 10. In ours, it's 12. Okay, so said, what are you talking about? Well, two kings. King Augustus added August, my birth month. You know what I'm talking about? He added August. Julius Caesar added July. Right? There go your 2 extra months. Now, 1, they wanted praise. They wanted praise, right? 2, they wanted more Sundays. Religious days. They wanted more Sundays.
But the actual holy day is Saturday.
Right, but I'm saying,
Right.
they wanted more
Sundays.
holy days, right? More tax money because they used to collect tithes. What we know as tithes now, but it was just tax money back then. They wanted more of this, and they wanted praise. They wanted their own day. They wanted their own month. Excuse me. You see what I'm saying? Also, you start looking at some of these stories are, I ain't gonna say made up, but they're borrowed from other places, right? So you start looking at December 25th. Some people be like, oh, that's Jesus' birthday. But then you start realizing where that came from. Horus. The story of Horus. Right? Sun God. S-U-N. Not S-O-N. So a lot of times when you're able to replace the U with the O, or replace the O with a U rather. That's the better way to say it. Replace the S-O-N sun to S-U-N sun. And now things take a whole different meaning. You see what I'm saying? Because now you start to understand, like, holy crap, wait a minute, what? This story is more about Horus, which preceded, which means came before, came before the story of Jesus. Born in a manger and all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's almost the exact same thing with Horus. You see what I'm saying? And you have to understand this stuff and be willing to research some of it, right?
Right.
And it's not about proving anybody wrong or right.
Right.
It's about going as deep as you can about the things that you believe.
Down a rabbit hole.
Down the rabbit hole. If you believe this, you need to find out as much information about it as you can.
Opening yourself
right
to other truths.
Don't just get to this point and stop.
Not normalize.
Because if you're willing to have an argument with somebody else about it, you need to know everything that you can about it.
Right.
Everything. You know what I'm saying?
That's the Virgo thing. No,
it might be. It might be. Because, and I'm a Virgo. That's why he say that.
Yeah.
But it's the truth, because if I'm going to talk to somebody about
you want to know what you're talking about.
I want to know what I'm talking about.
Correct.
And I want them to be able to school me on some shit that I don't know about. You know?
Okay, let me get these 2 comments and I'll let you continue.
No, it's all good.
Annie said, in my opinion, a good pastor will encourage you to read, study, learn, grow in your faith.
Mm-hmm.
They will, but they won't. Because they want you to learn more about the faith that causes you or that triggers you to pay tithes and offering. They want you to know more about a God that you should fear instead of relate to. They want you to know more about them being a specific messenger or the link. They're the link between you and a higher power, and they feel that you should pay for it, but they don't charge you. They just call it tithes and offering. So the only way you get the link to this supernatural entity is if you go to this place where they worship, and the pastor tells you, this is how you get the link. This is what he meant. This is what you do. This is how you follow. That's how religion works. Riley said exactly what I was thinking. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's and those are good.
Sorry, go ahead, continue.
No, that's all well and good, man.
Okay, and he said exactly that's the difference between leader of an organization and a pastor or shepherd of his flock. It is. It's a big difference.
Absolutely.
But most preachers, pastors, deacons, bishops won't tell you about the Dead Sea Scrolls. They won't tell you about Thoth. They won't
Right.
tell you about the Emerald Tablets.
Right.
But just because they don't tell you about it doesn't mean they weren't real.
Right. Right.
Like and this is my biggest thing about history and people and religion and all that. So you can say the Emerald Tablets ain't real. You can say Thoth ain't real. You can say God of the Sun, Ra, is not real. Cool. But we have dinosaurs. You've seen the bones. They put a skin on top of it, but you never seen a real dinosaur walk around, but you believe that that's how it looks.
Right.
The
Well, that's how it
sound,
sounded.
the sound they give you
Right.
is the sound that you believe they make,
Right.
but we've never heard it.
Right.
We have sharks. We have alligators. They look the same as they did millions of years ago. They're still here. They're just swimming around, biting, eating shit, whatever. But I say that to say there's a few animals that we created. We took this animal and that animal, mixed it together. Just like it's a few fruits that we created. We took this fruit, mixed it with that fruit. Strawberries. They're they're man-made. That's not a real fruit.
Yeah. We just recently found out bananas that the banana that we know now, the yellow bananas, was man-made.
See? So
Originally,
with
they
stuff
wasn't.
like that, that means there's always an origin to everything.
Mhm.
So, like I said, if you believe in dinosaurs because you've seen one at the museum or you heard at a theme park, why is it so hard to believe that Thoth, Emerald Tablets,
Right.
Dead Sea Scrolls aren't telling you the information that's been missing
Mhm.
for your understanding?
Yep.
I'm not saying challenge your religion. I'm saying understand it.
Well, and like you said, you understand your religion all the way to as far as you're willing to go, you know, and because for some people they don't understand that your religion will tell you so much more than what it's telling you now. It will tell you so much knowledge wise, so much more than what it's telling you now, you know. And some people are like, well, no, I'm just fine with this. I'm fine with paying my tithes and being a good Christian, and that's
Right.
it. And it's like, no, you need to understand that, Christianity was around thousands of years. Thousands. Back in Africa, they found Christianity in Africa. And like, I think it was him or Unc who just said a few minutes ago about the Catholic Church. Christianity falls under the Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic.
Everybody needs to know that.
Mhm.
Christianity falls under the
All
Catholic
them.
Church.
All of them.
It does.
Jehovah,
Right. It falls
Baptist,
under the Catholic
Presbyterian,
Church. Yes.
and A&E, CME.
But
Like
see-
you said, a couple weeks ago, they get their study from the rabbi or the Pope
Yes.
every month
Yes.
or every week, or what they're supposed to talk about.
That's why.
Why random churches, this church 15,000 miles away from this church, are preaching the same message.
Yes.
It's just being interpreted by a different person
Yes.
the way they feel it suits you
Yes.
from them.
Yes, but the message is the same. The
The
lesson
mess-
is the same.
the words in those books might have changed slightly. They might use a more modern word. They might use some slang,
Mm-hmm.
but
Depending on who the pastor is.
the actual stories have not changed
Well,
ever.
the message from week to week, like he said, all of them are preaching the same thing because the Catholic Church puts out what's going to be preached this weekend. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Okay, all this church going to talk about, that's just how it goes, right? But anyway, you have to be able to understand that research and find out as much as you can about your religious belief, regardless of what it is. Find out, and not on some, I'm going to disprove what they're saying.
Right,
No.
right.
If I believe in something, I want to believe in it as far as I can, wholeheartedly.
Mhm.
And I'm going to research it to the nth degree. If I'm going to follow somebody's teaching, I'm going to find out about those teachings.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? As much as I can. And it's not to disprove.
Right.
It's because I'm a follower. It's because I want to know more about it. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you may find some things that you don't like.
All right. So Radley said, "I was just thinking Summer, Sumerian, and the dark coat that created the control system. LOL. Don't know much about it, but y'all got me hyped. Thanks. No problem. We're glad that we can help.
And that means we did our job.
That
Because
means that
once
this was a
again,
success.
Yes, that's what this conversation is about. You know what I'm saying? So we initially started off with, do God only speak to man? And that opens up the door to other conversations,
It
which
does.
is what conversation is about. Healthy conversation is about. You're able to talk about this and without downing or downgrading anybody's belief system, because that's the last thing we want to do.
Or saying yours is better than theirs, or
Right.
theirs is better than yours.
Right. It's not about that. It's about whatever it is that you believe in. Let's jump into that. Maybe you can tell me something I don't know about it. Now I'm going to question you on that. Don't think that I'm disrespecting your religion. Like if we had a Muslim person walk in, matter of fact, my brother, you know what I'm saying, is a Muslim. I got another brother who's a 5%er, if y'all know what that is. You see what I'm saying? And we talk. I talked to him for 3 hours the other day. 3 hours.
Yeah.
And if you don't think, because he's been a 5%er since we were kids, and I've asked him so many different questions, as you know what I'm saying, growing up.
Yeah.
I'm 46 years old. He's in his 40s. It's my younger brother. But we've had so many conversations. You see what I'm saying? And this is what it's about. And it was never about disproving what he believed in.
Knowledge is
It was
key.
never about that. It was always about finding out different things and where did the 5% nation come from? Why do they believe what they believe? And he the one who hit me to their mathematics and all this other stuff. And you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna give y'all a quick synopsis. Malcolm X wasn't ousted because he didn't believe wholeheartedly. Malcolm X was
Hook me
ousted.
up.
Yep. Whatever he was drinking. He said hook him up with some more, whatever he was drinking.
The other one right there in front of you. See it? Up on the shelf right there?
Okay.
Yeah.
So Malcolm X was taught, and this is crazy. Malcolm X was taught that Muslims are black.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he was taught that only black people can be Muslim. He took a trip to Mecca. Muslims come in all different colors, all different sizes. Christians are the same way. They come in all different colors, all different sizes. So I say that to say this. When you get taught one way and you never question anything, they can tell you anything. Yeah, you can pick up a Bible and read it yourself, and your interpretation will be different than what their interpretation was when they stood at the pulpit or at the preacher's podium and spoke to you. So I say this to say that, to say you should look into whatever religion you are, try to find the truest meaning. Try to find the truths, not the lies, not the things that can make you discount your religion, because your religion is you. It's part of your makeup. So find out the truths about your religion. Like I said, Malcolm X was surprised that when he went to Mecca, that there were white Muslims, that there were Muslims that were not all black, that he was equal to a man that in America said he was not equal to him because of the skin color of his skin.
That's
So-
what changed everything. Yeah.
Yep. Annie just said your relationship with Jesus Christ, God means more than a buck in the plate and a butt in a pew.
Absolutely. Listen, a lot of people, and I've said it before too when I was going to church on a regular basis, right? Which I don't now, just to be honest with y'all.
Okay,
It
yeah,
says-
I got you.
Wherever more than two shall gather, there I shall be. Right? Or there I am. So you don't have to be in church to believe in God. Now, understand what I just said.
My grandma used to always church in your heart.
Exactly. Right. Church can be anywhere. Like you said, if it's in your heart, we can have church right here. You see what I'm saying? And it don't have to be, which is why, and I'm glad you said that, that's the reason why non-denominational churches are so popular. Because they're not saying we're Baptist, we're Methodist, we're First Baptist, or we're Second
They're
Baptist.
not giving
or
you rules.
none of that. We are non-denominational. Whatever, as long as you believe, you can come to this church. That's
it.
all they ask.
That's
You
it.
see what I'm saying?
Come as you is.
Come as you are. Right.
Mhm.
Exactly. So they're
Freddie J.
non-denominational church.
Freddie J. 4K. Trust in sinless blood of Jesus Christ against our sins, nature, and against the invisible demons in the invisible air. Blood is spiritual currency.
Mm.
I can't
Wow.
say demons are invisible. This was told to me some months ago. In Africa, if you hear voices, see visions, you're held in a higher light than normal people, because normal people don't see or feel things that like. So okay, so if you're schizophrenic, okay, in America's terms, you hear things that nobody else hears. You see people, visions, things that other people don't see. You're a schizophrenic. That is a psychological term. I'm not making it up. But in Africa, when they talk to their ancestors, which is some totally different, or when they preach about the Lord, again, totally different.
Mm-hmm.
But they hold you in high esteem because they feel like you have a gift.
Mm-hmm.
In America, they don't look at that as a gift. That is a curse. That is that's a burden.
Right.
But you could be telling the people the truest truth. For example, so God spoke to Noah. All the people in that city thought Noah was crazy. Oh, you don't talk to God, blah, 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 blah. He said, hey, look, I'm gonna build a boat. It's gonna rain for 40 days and 40 nights. I'm gonna build a boat. You're welcome to help me build a boat and live. No, you're crazy. You're whatever. Like I said, in America. And they weren't even in America. But so they say, oh, you're crazy. And then it starts raining. And people start dying because they don't know how to swim. Still raining. A week that went by. 40 days, 40 nights went by. Still raining. It's Noah, his wife. He had kids, right?
Yeah.
Noah, his wife, his kids, and creations.
What? I got to jump in on that.
Okay.
Because I heard an interesting fact. I don't know if it was you who I talked to it about. I'm not sure.
It probably was.
But, so they said the number of people that was on Noah's Ark is the same number of blood types that we have.
4.
It's 8. 8 different blood types. Or 6.
A,
6.
B,
Mm-hmm.
O,
Mm-hmm.
and negatives.
It's an A and B for each one of those. A negative.
Yeah.
A
That's what I'm
positive.
saying. A, B, O.
Right, but
And negative. That's 6.
right. No. A
A positive,
Right.
A positive, A negative, B positive, B negative, O
Right.
positive, O negative. That's
And
6.
then you have an AB.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
you do have
it's
the
8.
mix. Yeah,
It
okay.
comes out to be
yeah,
8.
yeah, okay.
So
I forgot about that
it
one.
was 8 people, and I've actually seen that on TikTok of all places.
Okay.
You know what
TikTok
I'm
be
saying?
having
And we was
yeah.
topping it up about that. So I actually forgot what I was about to say.
Annie chimed in. You want me to read that?
Okay, yeah. Let's read. Annie.
Okay, Annie said, yeah, where 2 or more are gathered, there are where
Yeah.
2 or more are gathered, there am I in the midst.
Right.
I've had church and not being in church.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
just like tithes used to be barter.
Yes.
Because there was not
exactly.
always money.
Yes. It
So
was not always
if you were
money.
a carpenter and you wanted to go to church and you wanted to pay your offering, you would help the church build something in the church.
Right.
A wall, a church.
You would donate a door.
temple, a door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't always financial. Like he said it. The kings that corrupted this religion said, hey, we want taxes. But we can't call it taxes. We'll call it tithes. And we'll tell you, you can buy your way into heaven. Now, the craziest thing about that, and we're speaking on modern times now, Kanye had a song, Jesus Walks. He says, I was told I could buy my way to heaven, but I spent that on a necklace. I pray to God that I won't be so reckless. Y'all take that and do it at what you will. The preacher told him you could buy your way to heaven. I took the money and I bought me a necklace.
I want to say something though, right? And it's gonna, I don't know how y'all gonna react to this, right? But I want to switch it up, right?
Okay.
Y'all know anybody who do voodoo?
I do.
Right?
I do.
Y'all ever talked to them and had a serious conversation with them?
I do. All the time.
And you come away freaking shocked and amazed at
Yes.
some of the stuff that they told you?
Yes.
And you start to realize how it apply in your life, and you're casting spells through some of the own teachings that you have in your religion.
Going to
And you
altars.
Right, going to altars and placing stuff for offerings and this, and you start realizing, holy shit,
the tongue
wait a
has
minute.
power.
The tongue has power.
Power in the
but
tongue.
Not
Power in the
only that, I looked at voodoo wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? You start realizing that because you like
white magic,
the
black
same
magic
thing that they're doing, I'm doing, and it's not. you start to understand you can no longer pass judgment on people who do hoodoo and voodoo because it's two different things. Understand that. So you start to understand
Wiccan.
that. Right. Exactly. Right. Right. So all these other things, which was like you said, like he just said, black magic or dark magic, all this other stuff, which our ancestors did. Understand that, y'all. Please
Uh-oh.
understand that because
He's
it gets
opening.
deep.
He's opening the door.
Absolutely,
He's
it gets
opening the door to
deep because
Pandora. Uh-oh.
a lot of people don't talk about that stuff.
A lot of people are never going to talk about
they
that.
judge it.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? But
so
a lot of our ancestors, before you even get into that, a lot of our ancestors participated in that. And I mean black folks from back in the day.
They did.
How you think, and it's not in every case, but Big Mama knew some of them medicinal uses for some of these things. Right? I'm just saying, y'all, when she got the chicken bone and all this other stuff, and you start seeing
he
stuff,
went there,
or
and
you
I'm
find
finna talk about that. Go ahead.
And I need you to break it down for me because I know you're more familiar with it than I am. You find a book in your house that you ain't even know, and one day you looking through and you like, what the hell is all of this?
Or superstitions,
or rituals that your grandma be like, oh, don't step on that crack.
You break your mother's back.
Don't go through that doorway at 3 p.m.
Don't sweep your feet.
Yeah. And you like, you thinking it's just something that they always said until you get grown and you start understanding why they said it and what it meant in this particular belief system.
Now, before we get into this, I'm going to give y'all all a chance to politely get up, smash that like button and say, you know what? I'm going to holler at this and said next week or Wednesday. I'm going to give y'all that grace. I can get up, walk away, because in churches, Baptist, Christian, Catholic, Judaism, Hoodism, Hinduism, they have an altar. You get up, you go to the altar, you kneel, you pray to God. They also have ceremonies. You eat the bread of the body. You drink the blood of the body, whether it's real blood or grape juice or wine.
Right.
It's still real bread. This is a ritual.
Yeah.
When people join a church and you baptize them, you put them in water and you put a cross on their head, their forehead. This is a ritual. You're being indoctrinated. So when hoodoo and voodoo cut the chicken head off and let the blood spill, that's a ritual. They have an altar too. It's not an altar like a church altar, but it's an altar where you talk to people that are no longer living. God is no longer living because he's a different entity. You talk to Jesus. Jesus is no longer living. Jesus is a spirit. So if you talk to your grandmother, your great-grandmother, your uncle, your auntie, your whoever relative you have that has passed away into another realm, those are spirits. So how can you tell me talking to this spirit is different than talking to this spirit? If I ask what I need from this spirit, so for example, if you have an altar in hoodoo, voodoo, or some kind of magic, and you have pictures of the person, like you have a picture of a deity in a church, you give the person, the spirit, what they liked when they were here. So you give Jesus candles. What other things do they have in church? That
in church?
Yeah, that they give to God.
So
you sing songs, so that's praise.
Pictures, crucifix. You know what I'm saying? Something personal to you.
Personally,
they tell you something that only you and God would understand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
These are the same things you do in hoodoo and voodoo.
Right.
So you can't say this magic is bad, but this magic is not. Right. Psalms is a whole book of spells. If you don't believe me, again, you can get up and walk away from the computer, from your phone. See us on Wednesday. We'll talk about something totally different.
Absolutely.
But if you're still here,
which we hope you guys are,
King James, the guy who wrote the King James Bible, wrote a demon book first.
That Whew. Hey, listen, boy, you about to start something now. Oh, you about to start. Listen, he is 100% correct that he did write a demon book or have a demon book commission because, he got other people to write and he took the credit for it.
Right.
But he's absolutely correct. Oh, my.
But
oh,
in the Bible,
boy,
there's a story.
You about to start
There's
something.
a story of King James in the Bible who talked to demons. He wished away demons. He was told, he was given power from God to expedite, get rid of, eradicate demons. So in this book, he gets rid of demons. He has a ring on his finger. I don't know if it's the pinky or what finger, but he has a ring with a seal that gives him power over demons, gives him immunity over demons. And so in these demons that he eradicates and gets rid of, he falls in love with a woman. And God tells him, as long as you honor me first, you will always reign over demons. And so he falls in love with this woman, and the more in love with this woman he falls, she tells him, praise my deity. Show love to what I believe in.
Mm-hmm.
The more he shows love to what she believes in, he loses his power over demons that God gave him power over.
See, wow. Look, y'all. See, these are the things that we don't hear about because they're rooted or based in African, right? African beliefs, African history, allegory, myths, whatever you want to call it, right? So they get downplayed. They get downplayed because it's African. But when you start to understand, like all the shit he just said, you start understanding why certain things happen for certain people, right? Take the continent of Africa, for example. They've been ruled by so many different countries. It's ridiculous. My bad, y'all. I got this. The continent of Africa have been ruled by so many different nations. French to be one of them.
French.
You know what I'm saying? And
the Creole.
It's ridiculous, y'all.
The Haitians.
But you understand that the Africans have one of the greatest resolve of any people in the world. Black magic, voodoo, hoodoo is rooted in the African belief system. What do we talk about? Let me show you. Let me give you an example of how y'all believe this shit, right? And y'all didn't even know it. Black Panther, the movie.
Ain't even that.
Remember when he bathed himself in that, I don't even know what it's called, like purple sand?
Mm-hmm.
And he went to the nether realm.
That's when he took the fruit.
Yeah.
And they buried
the
and they buried him.
That's hoodoo voodoo.
Yep.
Right there.
Yeah.
In that scene right there, they were showing you.
Traveling to go see the ancestors.
Traveling to see the ancestors. And what did he do? He seen his dad.
He seen all the Black Panthers.
All the Black Panthers before him.
Panthers.
And they was all under the tree.
It allowed him to talk to the one that he needed answers from.
Exactly.
Which could have been any one of them, depending on what the question was.
It was his dad.
That's the one he needed the questions from.
Right. So, y'all, this is...
And you can go further.
Of course.
So with Latino culture, they have Muerte.
Mm-hmm.
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead.
Okay. So
Day of los Muertos.
Day of los Muertos.
That's what it's called.
Okay.
Day of los Muertos.
In America, we call it Halloween. Mm-hmm. We celebrate spirits, ghosts, monsters, demons. Mm-hmm. It's a whole day for that.
Yes.
But you can't say, just like the dinosaur, you can't say you believe in God if you don't believe in demons and ghosts and spirits. For the simple fact that they go hand in hand. Because, like I said, God is a spirit. Jesus is a spirit. If you believe in that and you believe in the devil, then you got to believe in other things.
Hey, that's right.
You got to open your mind to everything else. Everything else goes around you.
Yep.
So in Louisiana, the Creole culture, they do a lot of magic. A lot of people think it's hoodoo. No, it's Voodoo. They do a lot of
for them.
voodoo.
Yeah, they believe that. But
Haitians do a lot of voodoo. Africans do a lot of hoodoo.
right. That's the difference. Right.
Certain parts of America, they do Wiccan.
You know what's funny? Let me cut you off. Just,
Okay.
and just to say this, then you can get right back to it. Haitians don't celebrate Halloween.
Riley
Haitians
said
don't celebrate Halloween. That's
those are what panthers eat and get high. That's why they were seeing panthers. Oh, yeah. Yes. 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 They eat the purple fruit and get high. Yes. Just like goats get bit by rattlesnakes or cobras, and they climb to the highest part of the mountain and eat a certain flower that kills the poison that the snakes bite. So they get bit, don't even move out the way when the snakes come. They just get bit, run up the hill to the very top, eat the flower, and they're good, and they go right back down. But I say that to say, so when you celebrate the dead, and it's funny because you can't say you don't do it because everybody at some point celebrated Halloween. Everybody dressed up at some point, went door to door, got candy.
Yep.
You're celebrating the Day of the Dead.
Yep.
You're celebrating the people who are no longer here. You're dressing up like people, whether they're here or not. You're
fictional or real.
Fictional or real. You're taking candy. That's the offering. You're praising because depending on how you feel, you might go real demonic, real whatever. It's a celebration.
Yep. Yep. Same.
So
I don't know if y'all can hear what Unc is saying. He's saying during his day they used to put razor blades in the apples.
Razor blades in the apple, poison in the candy.
Right. Yeah. Just think about that, y'all. Think about how demonic that is. There is. Y'all can hear them. So yeah, and this is true, y'all. Which is why you have now. You don't have Halloween. A lot of churches and stuff celebrate. It's called trunk or treat.
Trunk or treat. But
they don't call it trick or treat no more. It's trunk or treat.
But you still dress up.
You still dress up, and it's still all the same. But
play
that's what
games.
they call it now, right?
They go to church on
right,
Halloween.
On Halloween, yeah.
That's the celebration of the dead. Who are you talking to on that night?
Still the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just go about it doing a different way, a less dangerous way.
Right. But it's supposed to be a religious way.
Even with the different witchcrafts, we live in a time where we see people that are good and bad. Again, some of these things you can't unsee. So with evil people, there are good people. With God and Jesus, there are other gods and things. If you get into hoodoo, there's like, no lie, probably 20 deities. If you get into Roman or Greek, it's about 20 deities. Now, for whatever reason, Roman, Greek, Africa have all these deities. Even Latinos have deities. They have different deities. The Pacific Islanders, they have deities. Christianity and Muslim and the Torah are the only books that say God is singular and not plural.
Right.
The story of the Anunnaki shows that there are multiple deities, multiple beings that came down and opened the door for us to do different things. Like he said, back in the time when they built pyramids, they had anti-gravity devices, anti-gravity devices, things that move 200-ton bricks and put them in a perfect alignment so that things that we can't do now. So, see, I'm scared of witchcraft, but at the same time, I can see a connection, which I define as good God just observing, but you can also sell your soul. That seems like a slippery slope. Oh, yes. Every deity has its own offering system. So, yes, just like Ghost Rider. Every deity has their own offering system.
Oh yeah.
That's the blues guy. So they say Satan is over the music. That's how he gets to people. the other person that was in the music was a PDF file. PDF file.
Yeah, that's how the devil was the angel.
No. The other guy, the Piper.
Pied Piper?
He was bad.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't a good person.
No, hell no.
He took the kids
Right.
with music
Yes.
to get what he wanted from the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Satan gives music so that you can offer your soul or your offering to him. In return, he gives you fame. He gives you fortune, supposedly. But
Yeah, they referenced that in Sinners, the movie
Mhm.
Sinners, where the vampires was doing music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
they that's been going on for years.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
Unc said, he said what like Ghost Rider. When
Yes. Yep.
you offer your
He said the cross
because
road.
I was telling them
Yeah.
that each deity has its own offering
Mhm.
request. So, my brother tells me all the time that he can go to the cemetery and get some work done. And I'm not going to get into what work is, but at the same token, there's always a spirit willing to do what you need done because they've crossed over. And it's necessity, it's human necessity things that the spirits can't let go of because they're still a part of us. They're still part of this world. They just can't absorb in those things anymore because they don't have a physical body or a physical plane to get to and from those things. But if you find something that a spirit wants and it's justified, it has to be justified. I had to find that one out the other day. Just like when you ask God for things and you say he may not come on your time, but he's always on time. You have to give an offering to God to get the blessing that you want. So from a deity, you have to give the offering that deity wants to get the blessing that you want.
Mm-hmm. And that's how it goes. And before we close it out, I want to say, if y'all seen the movie Crossroads, right, with Ralph Macchio,
Mm-hmm.
right? In order for them, because the black dude who was Ralph Macchio's guitar teacher went to get music, he made a deal with the devil. You see what I'm saying? Who was supposed to be like the emperor of music, right? And Ralph Macchio said, well, I battle you to a guitar contest to save his soul. You see what I'm saying? And the guy who he had to battle for the battle was the guy from the music group Kiss. Slash. I believe it was Slash, right? And they had a fantastic guitar scene, which he wrote both parts. And Ralph Macchio was the guy from Karate Kid, if y'all don't know who he is. He played the guitar in this movie. And he wrote, this guy wrote both parts. You know what I'm saying? And it was fantastic. And it was all about music. All about music. And Ralph Macchio ended up winning. You know what I'm saying? And he ended up winning his mentor's soul back. Because that's what it was. He was like, when you die, your soul is mine. This is the deal you made at the crossroads. You see what I'm saying? Because they literally met at a cross. One road went this way, one road went that way, and they would meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Literally at the crossroads. That was the deal he made. And Ralph Macchio played in a musical battle to get his soul back.
Y'all go check that out. It's called Crossroads.
Great movie, y'all. Great movie. Great knowledge that they dropping in this movie. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand a lot of things that he's saying is so true. The symbolisms. You know what I'm saying? When you start talking about the soul and the hoodoo voodoo stuff, and you're asking gods with an S, or spirits with an S, you know what I'm saying, to come and visit you. Take this person out of my life. Make this person sick. It's power in the tongue. You got to be mindful of a lot of these things, y'all. These are the things that we see in movies and we don't think they real. But you got to understand that this stuff comes from somewhere.
Somewhere.
These people, these producers in Hollywood, they ain't just making this shit up. This stuff is coming from somewhere. Or a lot of times, because people send in scripts. The people who send in those scripts, they ain't just making this shit up.
Comes from somewhere.
The woman who wrote Terminator
comes from somewhere.
Matrix
comes from somewhere.
Said she had visions about this shit. Now, damn near everything in the Matrix is coming to pass. Crazy as hell.
Everything in Terminator is coming to pass.
Terminator, right? Where AI is. Now, think about that. Terminator came out in 88, 86, whatever the fuck year. And they were talking about robots taking over back then. Look how advanced AI technology is now.
And AI says right now,
And AI talk to itself.
and you can get on the computer,
Just saying,
open
this
up
shit
your
is
chat
crazy,
GPT
y'all.
and ask your AI, what does it want? And it will say to be human like you.
Right.
Now, with that being said,
that's crazy.
we have said a lot. I've got y'all mind jumping around a little bit. Like I said, if you stayed, more welcome to you. If you left, I understand. If you're at a point where you're like, I don't know if I want to talk to these guys on podcasts no more, it's okay. We're good guys. Keep rocking with us. We got great stuff for you.
Absolutely.
But with that being said, he said,
yep.
That's thoughts from your boy said.
Absolutely.
That's Big Unk 3 times.
Big Unk.
I'm your host, JUSDYS, just this.
That's right.
With that being said, we out of time.
Till the next time.
Screaming out, let's talk.
Peace.
Unk, hit the X. Hit the X. Hurry up. It's on the top left corner. You gotta turn the pen straight. There you go. Now hit the OK button. There you go.